Hello and welcome back to the Market House podcast. My name is Caleb and I am the host of the show. And is anyone else just now feeling kind of not just feeling it or just now feeling it, but I don't know. I think the effects of the pandemic have compounded on itself. And, thing after another, right? Like canceled trips and, still seeing crazy infection rates and seeing family and friends get really sick. And, it's kind of scary. You've got crazy inflation. I don't know. All these things have just stacked up now for 2 years, pretty much 2 years plus. And it's really getting to me now. And my wife as well. I think we're now just feeling like the cruddiness of it all. I don't know how to explain it, but we've been lucky enough to avoid serious sickness in our immediate family and friends, and everyone's, either whether they've got it or not, have recovered pretty well. And, I feel for the people that have not fared so well with the virus. And I don't know. I know it could be a lot worse, I guess is what I'm trying to say, but good grief. It's hard to kind of, be super joyful and happy in recent weeks, I guess. I don't know. It's been rough, but especially since again, boohoo, it could be worse. I know that, but when you're doing all the right things, right? You're saving, you're saving your acorns or whatever, and putting your you put in your emergency fund away, and then you want to buy a home eventually, and you're doing all the right things, and then you turn around and you go, oh, that house that I wanted to buy or would have wanted to buy is now worth 25-30% more than what it was a year ago. So now you're like, great. Now I can't buy a house. People are getting sick left and right. It's just all around not fun. So I say all that not to be negative, but just to say, if you're feeling the same way, I totally get it. We get it. It's one of those where it's a rough, weird time. It's just, that's all you can say, right? And I'm not sure when we'll get past this thing. I don't know what that looks like, what the future holds, but all we can do is stay positive as much as possible and kind of push through and do the best we can. So let's get all that negative junk out of the way and just let's move on to the fun stuff. And that is talking about Disney. I think I think we all relate to that, and that's why we're here today. And I'm talking about it, you're listening and doing all that good stuff. So anyways, let's stop the negative and let's talk Disney. All right, and our first news story happens to be about the Disney Wish, which is the newest addition to the Disney Cruise Line fleet. There were 4 ships, and this is going to be the 5th and largest. And it was actually supposed to be ready and done by, June 9th. So June 9th was going to be the first sailing date for the Disney Wish, but that has been pushed back. Looks like the first sailing will now take place on July 14th. So a few weeks delay for the Disney Wish, and let me tell you why, and this is part of Disney's official statement. The shipyard has notified Disney Cruise Line that despite their very best efforts, they will need more time to finish the ship due, in part to the pandemic, and particularly the arrival of the Omicron variant in Germany at a critical point in the process. So looks like when they were just wrapping things up, getting it all prettied and ready, maybe a lot of people got sick over there, and that has delayed the kind of finishing touches on the Disney Wish. So if the new date does not work for guests that were originally booked for that sailing, they will be offered a 50% credit towards their next cruise or a full refund. So not a terribly bad deal. So if those people can't make it, if you were booked, for that first June 9th date, and that doesn't work, if the July 14th date doesn't work for you, you get a pretty substantial discount for a future cruise, or you can just get all your money back. So not a terrible deal. I know people kind of, probably had vacations lined up, vacation time and requesting time off and hotels and all that junk, kind of preparing to get over there. But, 50% off your next cruise is not a bad kind of makeup deal from Disney. So if you were planning on going on the Disney Wish sailings anytime soon this year, I think dates might have been switched around and pushed back. So make sure to check with Disney on those new dates. Our next and final news item actually this week, it was a slow news week at the Disney parks, but ESPN is filming Super Bowl coverage at Disney California Adventure. So February 9th through 13th, you can catch filming of multiple ESPN shows in the park. So they already have the stage set up. It looks kind of ugly, but it's a giant, I don't know how pretty you can make it, but it's just a giant stage over by the water there in front of Pixar Pier. I'm kind of forgetting what that body of water is called. But anyways, right in front of there is this giant stage that they've got set up. And so you can see shows like postseason NFL Countdown, NFL Live, Sports Center, and much more. So if you're a fan of sports and you want to catch some live filming of ESPN offerings, you can do that at DCA the 9th through the 13th. If I can speak, that would help. The 9th through the 13th of this month. So I know where all the dads are going to be when mom and the kids want to go on It's a Small World. I have a feeling, a sinking suspicion, that they will have something to do during that time. And, they might be like, you know what, I'm going to go sneak off and do something for a second. And I think that's it. So anyways, if you want to watch that, catch it at the parks in the next week or so. All right, and that brings us to our main segment for this episode, and that is everyone's favorite, a top 10 list. And that is top 10 things to bring to the Disneyland Resort. And I know this has been done a billion zillion times on the internet, whether that's written, YouTube videos, podcasts, whatever, but I'm going to do it myself because why not? And mine's better than everyone else's. That's just my opinion, and I'm pretty biased. So don't take that very seriously. Let's go ahead and start off with the first item, and that is kind of a no-brainer, but that is a backpack. For the love, people, you are going to need a backpack, if not two, if you've got a big family and have a lot of junk to kind of carry around with you. But you're going to need a backpack, clearly, because you're not at home, you don't have things readily available. You're going to need to pack some things with you to kind of navigate the parks successfully without either dying of hunger and thirst or just dying of sweat because it's so dang hot, and I will kind of allude to what that means later and how I can help you with that SoCal heat. But you can find some decent park bags, I kind of like to call them park bags, on Amazon. And we actually grabbed one, 2000, it's probably been 8 years, and we've owned the same backpack, and it's fared great. I think it's water repellent. I don't think they call it waterproof, but it's fairly waterproof. And that comes in handy when you go on those water rides because you can kind of block your face with your backpack and know that everything is going to stay dry inside, but also keep you dry as well. So you can find them on Amazon. I think we paid $35-$40 for it, and it's we've definitely got its money, our money's worth out of it because we've had it for so dang long and it's still in great shape. As well, if you're really into those, what are those bags called? Loungefly, that's what they're called. I'm totally just not getting my thoughts together today. Loungefly, those are, my wife has 7. I don't know how many she has, but she has a lot and really likes them. They're a little pricey, warning, if you buy them at the park. I mean, anywhere, honestly. I think they're all pretty much the same price. You can get them on sale online for as cheap as maybe $50, but they get as expensive as like $100, $120, I think. They top out at. So they're a pricey investment, but a lot of people think they're cute and adorable, and they've got all these Mickey prints on them and all the shenanigans. So if you want a nice, fancy backpack, the Loungefly is a decent option. Number 2 is a portable charger. You are going to be using your phone a lot at Disneyland, and they've made it that way, just making the Disney app so dang important on your trip, and that is because you mobile order off this thing, so you get your food that way. You check wait times. If you choose to participate in Genie Plus, please don't. But if you choose to do that, you are going to be on your phone a lot, booking your times, your return times for the Genie Plus thing. So you're going to be on it all day long, taking pictures, calling people, whatever. You're using it. So bring a portable charger that allows you to charge your phone at least a couple of times throughout the day. So, again, you can find these things on Amazon. I pronounce that word. Amazon, Best Buy, Target, what have you. Everyone has them. They've come down a lot in price. I remember I bought my first one, again, probably 10 years ago, and it was 50, $60 or something like that, and it charged my phone like halfway. It was by Anchor or something like that. It was so expensive. Anyways, they've come down a lot. It's like $30 on Amazon now, and it can charge your phone like 4 times. So they're chunky, whatever, but again, that's why you got that backpack. So throw it in there, and you can charge your phone at your heart's content. Next up, we've got a mini fan, one of those handheld battery-powered fans. And I used to always think it was stupid to carry that thing around. I would be embarrassed to use it. Folks, I have gotten over it real quick because doing Disney World or Disneyland, we're talking Disneyland West Coast, but I mean, I've done Disney World as well. You need a flipping fan to survive those lines. And let me tell you, because again, we've talked about that SoCal sun. It is so intense and hot. And again, it could be 82 degrees, but in that sun, that UV index is high, people. So bring a fan, because if you're stuck in a line like Matterhorn, Incredicoaster, Big Thunder, places that don't have a lot of shade, you will regret it. If you're going in June, July, August, September, October, pretty much any month except for January and February, it's warm. So bring that fan. Ours is pink. Get over your pride, people. If you don't like a particular color or whatever, rock that fan. Who cares? Because you'll be cool in line and you'll be laughing at the people that are sweating their face off next to you. But it's worth every penny. Again, they're $15 on Amazon. Grab one. You can charge them via USB with that handy dandy portable charger if you want, or back at the hotel room. But you can get a full day's use out of these things with the one charge, and they are worth every single penny. Speaking of heat and staying hydrated, we've got a water bottle. And Disneyland gets hot, and preparing for a warm day involves bringing a water bottle because, again, Disneyland is expensive. Those Dasani water bottles that you can buy from the carts and restaurants and all that stuff, $3.50. That adds up quick, especially if you're with multiple people, right? If you're there at the parks with the whole family, with your loved one, whatever. That's a hefty bill when you've got to fuel up on water all throughout the day. So bring a refillable water bottle, and you don't need to get crazy and bring one of those giant jug gallon ones. That's overkill. Bring a, whatever, 24 ounce, 32 ounce water bottle. You can fill them up all over the park with a bottle filling stations that they have stationed everywhere. I will admit, I'm not a giant fan of those, only because I've seen kids touch them with their hands, and God knows where they've been touching before, right? Like rides in their mouths and then whatever, and then touching that. I've seen kids try and drink out of it like a water fountain. So they're not the most cleanly thing in the world, especially in these times, right? COVID. So you can always ask for cups of water from counter restaurants. Now, some of them will direct you to those, unfortunately. Like I know Galactic Grill, if you ask for a cup of water, they'll go, we have actually a bottle filling station. And I'll be like, I'm sorry, but I really don't want to use that. It's gross. And they will give you one. So grab those with ice and everything, pour them in your water bottle, and you'll have unlimited water availability throughout the park. And you can just carry it around with you and keep it cold and all that good stuff. So bring your own water bottle. It will definitely come in handy. An alternative as well, it's kind of like a sub point or sub whatever, is you can buy a pack of water at either that CVS or Walgreens or Target down the road and just kind of station those back at your hotel room. So what my wife and I will do is we will buy one of those at the beginning of our trip and then maybe throw a couple in the backpack, and then we'll take a midday break, grab another two, and bring them for the afternoon. So that's an alternative if you don't want to bring a refillable bottle. Next up, which is what number are we on now? We did backpack was number 1, portable charger 2, mini fan 3, water bottle 4. Number 5 are ponchos. Now you're like, Caleb, you just said it's hot and arid down in Southern California. No, folks, this is not for the 4 days of rain that Southern California gets throughout the year. This is about those water rides. So if you've ridden Splash Mountain in recent years or Grizzly River Run, you get flipping soaked. I don't care where you sit on it. You're going to get soaked. It's just a matter of how soaked and what location of the body you're getting wet with. So Splash Mountain, you'll either get soggy shoes or you'll get a face full of water. Grizzly River Run, pretty much guaranteed to be fully soaked head to toe, unless you're a freak and super lucky and you walk out pretty bone dry. So for some reason, my wife and I always get the cruddy, crappy part of the log or whatever, and we get absolutely soaked. And I don't know about you, but I hate walking around in wet Shoes, it's disgusting. It slushes around, it gives you blisters, it's gross, it's not natural. So these are super cheap, just disposable. I know it's kind of wasteful, but it's sorry. We do it only a few times a year. Get over it. It is what it is. It's these super cheap disposable ponchos that you can get on Amazon. It's like a pack of 10 for like $6. They're so cheap, but you can use it once. You could probably get away with using it twice, but I would hold off on doing the whole like multi-day because it starts to get mildewy and gross after it gets wet. So you can throw it away and know that you can just pull another one out of your backpack. But totally worth the space in your backpack, people. Do not walk around soaking wet. It is a terrible feeling. But grab those ponchos on Amazon before you go because it's worth not being soaked throughout the whole entire park. So next up, we've got extra masks. So again, COVID times, it is a requirement to wear a mask indoors while you're at the park. So you're going to be burning through those things pretty quickly unless you're bringing cloth masks. You can't really throw those away, or you can, but that's wasteful. But anyways, I would suggest you bring multiple, and our favorite are the Costco black disposable ones. I think it's like a box of 50 for $10. And we buy a few boxes of those just to have around the house and when we're going about our daily lives, but we also just bring a pack or two down to the parks. Because, again, if you're going warm weather, cold, what doesn't matter, right? You need to change that out throughout the day because they get gross. You're eating really smelly foods, theme park foods, and you want to throw that back on, you'll smell like pizza the rest of the day, I promise you. Or if you're sweating through it and you're standing out in the California sun for a few hours, you're going to sweat through that sucker, and you do not want to put a sweat-soaked mask back on your face after hanging out outside. So bring a pack of those babies, or if you've got cloth ones, bring a few at least, because you will go through them pretty quickly. What number are we on now? 7, 8, 9, 10. We're on 7. I can do math. Easy math comes great to me, folks, but algebra, I don't even ask. I will totally just stare blankly, and I won't get anything correct. But anyways, hand sanitizer and sunscreen. Yes, Disney has hand sanitizer stations all over the park, but let me tell you, they run out often. They're doing their best, and they can only fill them up so much and whatever. There's only so many people to do it. And also, this is not their fault. Again, they can't control this, but the sun does weird things to Purell. If it's out in the 90-degree weather for longer than a few hours, it starts to become this weird, gross consistency, and it leaves this I'm just rubbing my hands thinking about it. It leaves this weird residue on your hands. It's really gross. So bring your own. It's super cheap, and again, it doesn't take a lot of space up in your bag. Bring your own hand sanitizer just in case they're out around the park, and also it's just good to have your own. We buy the one with like aloe vera in it because it keeps your hands nice and moist and moisturized, because my hands get super dry in the summer, and hand sanitizer does not help since it's like 75% alcohol. And sunscreen. Protect your skin. Come on, we're all not good. That's the secret of the celebrities, folks, is SPF. Protect that face, protect those arms, your back, your neck. Again, that sun is intense down there. If you come from a different part of the country and you're not used to intense sun like down in SoCal, Arizona, everywhere, it's hot. It's hot. So if you're not used to that, your skin will burn and it will hurt and it will ruin your vacation. So bring some protection, folks. And think about this. In 30 years, you're going to look so much better because you protected your skin. It's going to be so radiant and moisturized. Anyways, I used to not do this. My wife sold me on this. So I just swallow my pride and I put sunscreen on in the middle of the park. And I'm like a child. I don't really know how to do it, and I don't do it well. So I go, honey, can you please put sunscreen on my face, please? And then she does it for me, and I look like a 9-year-old kid. I don't care because I know it's all the white stuff's not on my face, and I don't look like an idiot. So anyways, bring your own hand sanitizer and sunscreen. Protect that skin. Next up, we've got number 8, hat/Mickey ears. Again, this kind of plays into the last item. It offers some sun protection. That sun's hot. It's in your face. It's in your eyes. It's annoying. So bring a hat if you're a hat guy. I'm not really. I kind of get over it when I'm at the park if it's a particularly sunny day, and I don't want to I get headaches from wearing glasses too much throughout the day. So if I don't want to wear sunglasses all throughout the day, I throw a hat on. That helps protect my eyes and all that good stuff. And my wife loves her Minnie, Mickey, whatever ears, and she's got a million pairs. So if you want to rock those down at the park, bring those. They don't take up a lot of space in your backpack, and you'll most likely wear them all day. And where else are you going to wear them, right? Are you going to wear mini ears to the mall or your workplace? Probably not. So, I mean, if you got them, rock them, dude. So you can buy them at the park. They're like $30 a pop, or no, maybe not. $24. I don't know. They've raised the price a couple times. So $20 to $30 for those ears in the park. Or you can order them online from Etsy shops and all that good stuff. There's some pretty creative people out there making their own Mickey ears. So this brings us to number 9, and this might be the most important one. And I don't know why I had it so low on the list. This is no, priorities, no particular order. But this is good walking shoes. And again, I wasn't doing this. My wife wouldn't do it. All in the vein of looking good for fashion's sake. We were rocking some shoes that weren't good for the park. And let me tell you, you regretted it pretty quickly. My wife wore some Converse one time, and she had blisters about 3 hours into our day, and she was in pain the rest of the day. We went back to the hotel, she changed her shoes, and by that point, it's too late. You got a blister. So not worth it. So my wife's favorite she's got some Adidas Ultra Boosts. She swears by those things. I've got Allbirds. I love them. They're light. They're cushiony for my old man feet, and they feel great. My heels don't feel like they're on fire at the end of the night. Again, by day 4, you really can't control that no matter what shoes you wear. You've been walking miles a day. They're going to hurt, but at least they'll hurt a little less, and you won't have blisters all over your feet if you just get a decent pair of walking shoes. And again, don't buy them 2 days before you leave because they're not broken in. And you'll especially get blisters with really stiff leather shoes, whatever. So break those suckers in a few weeks before your trip. Get walking out with the family, walk the dog, whatever in those, and get them ready for your trip. But skip the Vans, skip the Converse. Trust me, you will thank me later. And finally, that brings us to our last point, and that is snacks. I get starving at the Disney parks. When you're walking through Adventureland or Frontierland or whatever, and they're pumping that churro scent in your face and that corn on the cob right there. Oh, there's food everywhere. There's churros. I just mentioned that. Churros again, because that smell is just right in my face. And I don't know. It sounds so good to me right now. But anyways, you got churros. You've got burger smell, barbecue wafting through the air. You've got everything, all the smells, popcorn. So it makes you hungry. And especially that sun and walking 10, 15, 20 miles. Dude, you get hungry. So bring some snacks because, again, Disney's expensive. So if you're spending, $15, $20 a person for lunch, and then you want to spend $5, $6 a person for snacks, and that's every single day, that's really expensive. So pack some granola bars, some trail mix, Cheetos, whatever. It's worth it. So something with protein. Again, I don't want to give health advice, but it's easy to pack junky food, and that's good, except you'll be hungry 30 minutes later. So we try and pack things that are going to sustain us, right? Protein-filled snacks. I sound like a health food nut. I'm not really. I don't mind a Taco Bell once in a while. But anyways, bring something that's going to actually kind of stick to your bones because you'll just be hungry 15 minutes later, and you will just go ahead and cave for that churro. So yeah, trail mix, all that good. You know what protein is. I'm not going to teach you what that is. But anyways, bring some snacks because you will get hungry. It's a guaranteed thing at those parks. And that's the list, folks. That's the top 10 things to bring to the parks. Let me know what you think. If you disagree or totally agree with my list, let us know. Message us on Instagram. Shoot us a direct message on there, a DM as the kids call it. And let's talk about this list, man, because I'm curious to see what your thoughts are on your must-have items. If I missed something or dude, you totally missed XYZ, let me know. And then I'll maybe benefit from this. And hopefully I helped you guys out on your next trip. And, you got your packing list, maybe add these things to that list. But again, thank you so much for listening. That brings us to the end of the episode. Thank you so much for spending your time with me. I know you've got a million other podcasts to listen to, options, TV shows, what have you. Thank you so much for spending the last, 20-something minutes with me. You can follow us on Instagram at Market House Podcast. Again, my wife's killing it over there, posting pictures from our adventures at the parks and having a good time over there. So we will be going again in about a month to the parks. So we'll have another photo dump of our trip there. And again, consider leaving a review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, please. That will not only, let me know how I'm doing and how we're doing over here, but also kind of increases the likelihood other folks can find the podcast. It's the crazy Apple algorithm. It's that word you hear everyone use. I think it's misused all the time. It's that dang algorithm. But anyways, it does help with search results and all that good stuff. But let us know what you think on both Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Thanks so much. We will see you next week.